All right, when the national unemployment rate was 10.2% in October, Michigan's jobless rate was 15.1%, the highest in the nation. Today, the federal government reported the jobless rate fell to 10% in November, and payrolls declined 11,000, far below expectations. Does that suggest, then, that Michigan will also see an improvement in the job market? Joining us now is Michigan Governor Jennifer Granholm. Governor, welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us. Let me ask you first of all about, I'm sure that even if you have experienced a slight improvement in your unemployment rate, you still are scurrying for ideas and money to fix that even more here. What are you doing as far as working with the Obama administration to help improve the jobless situation in Michigan?
Yeah, Matt, we've asked for several things. One is, like other states in the Midwest, and I know you just talked to Governor Strickland, too, we need businesses to have access to capital. We need especially those manufacturing businesses who want to diversify, who can make great supplies for the alternative energy industry, for example, but who have no access to credit. So repurpose some of that TARP money and allow that to flow through community banks to put money into the hands of those who will hire and put it to good use. So that's number one. Number two, we asked for help with respect to infrastructure projects. Light rail is one, but also roads and bridges and shoring up decrepit buildings, et cetera. That puts people to work right away, and that's an important strategy. And third, help us with tax strategies that allow us to provide incentives, particularly for, in our case, for those who've got great capacity, great facilities, who are idle, which are idle right now, and could be converted to produce other products, advanced manufacturing products, for example. So those kinds of strategies are what we need. An investment tax credit that is permanent, that really provides an incentive for manufacturers to invest in equipment so they can get up to speed and hire people.
Governor Granholm, let me ask you, you were down in Washington, you were talking with lawmakers, advocating for policy changes and job creation strategies. One thing you've talked about is how that the administration must not lose sight that state budget challenges could impede any national recovery. I'm just curious, from your talking down in Washington, whether or not that the Obama administration fully understands the state of states right now.
Well, I'm not sure anybody fully appreciates what states like Michigan and Ohio are going through. I mean, it's just so real, the frustration and the anger and the loss of jobs is just so pervasive. But I do know that it will compound the problem nationally if there is a cliff on the stimulus that would prevent states from keeping cops and firefighters and teachers employed. If you want to make sure that you get to your race to the top goals, for example, of getting the nation's college graduation rate higher than the rest of the world, you cannot be slashing teachers right now. There will be such a drag on the economy if the states experience that kind of cliff. So if there is a way to extend the provisions of the stimulus that focus on keeping cops employed, firefighters employed, and teachers employed, that would be very helpful.
We see Christina Romer and Austin Goolsbee and the administration touting these numbers. They've created 600,000 to 1.6 million jobs. How much of that has Michigan seen?
Well, I mean, we've seen about 23,000 jobs, but that was just in really the second 2 quarters of the year. This is a 2-year program. Every orange barrel that you see in Michigan is related to the stimulus. All of the battery companies now that are coming to be able to help us build the next vehicle, the electric vehicle, those are all starting to take shape. So I expect that in the next quarter and throughout 2010, you'll really start to see some of that impact.
Do you feel like that we need more stimulus coming from the government? Certainly a hotly debated topic, Governor, but what do you think?
Yeah, I think we do. I think it's clear that the recession is not over yet, and if you end up seeing states fall off that cliff because the stimulus will end in 2010, then we all present budgets that reflect 2011, and that's really when the stimulus goes away. Then you'll see a great drag on the economy. So when I say extend the stimulus, especially the provisions that deal with job creation, obviously the stimulus was very broad and had a lot of tax cuts, a lot of help for individuals. I do think they need to extend unemployment. That would be very important. I do think that it would be important as well for us not to further tax employers who might have to pay into those unemployment funds. But clearly, the job is not done yet. It was a great start. We need to continue it.
Governor Granholm, what about folks who say, and we've had a lot of guests on who say, you know, we don't need more government spending at this point. I mean, take a look at the jobs report today. It's coming in better than expected. The numbers are getting better. Got about 40 seconds here.
Yeah, it's getting better because now the stimulus is actually working. So let's not cut it off. It would be terrible, I can tell you, in Michigan. We have a bad unemployment rate. It would have been so much worse with our auto industry if we didn't have that stimulus.
I want to quickly ask about the credit situation, and now you only have about 20 seconds. What do you think about that? I mean, is it getting any better because it's so key for small businesses?
Yeah, we're not seeing it yet, and that's why they've really got to do a better job of making the playing field certain and getting that money through. It's just, you know, it's all been jammed up, bottled up, and nobody has any certainty about what the rules are. These community banks, they're all, you know, clenched like this. No credit is flowing. It's ridiculous. We got to get that credit flowing, allow these great small businesses to have access to it, let them hire people, let them put people back to work.
All right. Hey, Governor, thank you so much for joining us again. Governor Jennifer Granholm from Michigan.